Holy wow. Hi, I am so glad you're back. It is once again me, your favorite deputy of Movie Deputy Podcast. And you may be wondering, what in the world is she talking about? Well, if you were here yesterday, you heard me talk about the 2003 version of Haunted Mansion. And since that chat, we have traveled 20 years into the future. We are now in 2023 when they re-released, or not re-released, they redid Haunted Mansion. 2003, it was The Haunted Mansion. This is just Haunted Mansion, and it is not a reboot or a remake of the other movie. This one is one that stands alone. It's still along the same concept of, guess what? It's about a haunted mansion. Surprise, surprise. But I'm just being overly silly with this one. I just thought, you know what? It can't hurt to mix things up just a little bit, and just trying to just be kind of creepy and spooky and just silly along with this one a little bit. But with the new Haunted Mansion, now to a lot of people's dismay, Eddie Murphy is not in this one. Why? I don't know. I mean, he just chose not to take this one. But Taro, can we leave that alone, please? Again, arguing with my kitty cats. Just kind of part of it when you're a cat mom. Got 5 of these fuzzy babies and I'm their mom. So, but back to the thing. Like I said, Eddie Murphy is not in this one. And this one, it's an entirely different mansion. This one's actually set in and around outside New Orleans. So that's a little bit different in and of itself. We are introduced to a mom and son. They're trying to get a new start on life, and they're just trying to get going. Travis is the kid, Gabby is the mom. Kind of like in the last one, the kid's kind of a little bit of a brainiac. Those who are fans of young Sheldon will surely appreciate Travis's character in this new one. Now, in this one, they are getting ready to move into a new home. They've just bought this house. They're getting ready to move into it. Only the night when they first arrive, they learn that their moving truck's going to be late, and they're trying to get in and get settled. But they quickly realize the house is haunted, like full-on haunted, and that scares them out of the house, literally. So they go into New Orleans, and they're trying to trace down some things to get some help with clearing the house out. Well, what they end up doing is they end up coming across a young man who has developed a type of camera that can actually photograph ghosts. It's some sort of a spectral camera, and he invented this thing called a quantum lens that fits the camera. Don't worry, none of this is spoilers, so you know me, no spoilers. If this is your first time here, you will never find spoilers on Deputy. I hate spoilers, so I will never subject you to them. But so they all go back to this manor, and he's trying to help him do this, and his name's Ben, the guy with the weird camera. And so he goes back and he tries to just kind of fake him out and just like click, 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 just being just overly goofy. But he tries to fake him out, and she pays him the money, and he leaves. Well, everything kind of goes on full circle with that. She catches him in the lie, and he comes back for real. Well, there is a lot more to this, and I do want to warn people, this one's actually a lot darker than the first one was. It's more like something you'd expect to see released around Halloween. This is not just this kind of silly, fun-loving thing, because the main ghost in this one is Alistair Crump, and the thing is, he has to have a certain number of souls that he has to hold hostage before he can move on with what he's trying to accomplish. A long time ago, he only had 933 souls. Well, in all of these years leading up to it, he's up to 900. He had 933. Now he's finally up to 999 because there's been 66 people that have gone missing at this home since. So he's at 999. I'll let you guess how many he needs. Yep, you got it right. He needs 1,000. And so but the thing is, he needs these souls to be willing. So he can't just kidnap somebody and kill them and drag their soul off. They have to be willing. They have to be willing to go with him. And it's just, like I said, it kind of goes into blood sacrifice and dark magic. So, like I said, I do want to warn people about that. And it just hit me. Obviously, this is a guilty rating. I did give this Haunted Mansion a 5.5 out of 10 on the Deputy scale. Now, if you're paying attention yesterday, this one's actually got a 1/4 of a point higher than the original Haunted Mansion. And like I said, it is a bit darker. There's definitely going to be a whole group of people that are, because this one is a darker side of Haunted Mansion, that they're not going to be interested in seeing something like that. And I completely get that. But in this one, there's also a lot more story development, so it's easier to follow. You're not gonna get bored with it as easily. It is a little bit longer than the first one as well. but there's a lot more to the story that's happening. Even after everything kind of happens that happens, you might be wondering, does he get the 1,000th ghost? Does he do his thing? Well, that's not as easy to explain as it may seem. And I can't really tell you what really happens without that being spoilers, so I can't really go into that. Travis and Gabby, with Ben's help, they are able to remain in the house, but it may not be alone. So I will give you that much of a clue on that. Like I said, this one is a lot darker. This one if you're sensitive to scary movies, I probably wouldn't recommend this just because it is a little bit darker at times. Like it's not like anything like super jump scare, it's not a horror movie at all. It's more of just like suspense type thing. I should have checked the MPAA rating. I think this one's also PG-13 on that one. But overall, like I said, it's got a much more developed story. There's something really cool. For me personally, there is a special little feline friend that's involved in the movie that ends up being my favorite character. You'd have to watch it to understand my meaning of that. Yeah, the kitty cat ends up stealing the show. And because of this kitty cat, there actually might be sequels to this one. So instead of having to wait 20 years to see Disney redoing Haunted Mansion, there may just be more carrying on with the story, with the camera, with the characters. I don't know. I'm almost hoping maybe they do something more with it. Who knows? It's Disney, and so the whole dark side of this, the direction that this goes in. A quote in the movie that's kind of funny. It says, "One man's monster is another man's Halloween costume," which of course made my retro brain jump back to the whole Scooby-Doo days, because no matter what the Scooby-Doo episode was, you always knew that the real monster was just human. So it really kind of proved the point that it's not scary. And in this one, it's just, I don't know, it's just over the top in some ways, but at the same time, it's more entertaining. Like I said, it's definitely not going to be for everybody. I think it's more aimed at like the young family, I'd say young family type crowd of, I'm just going to ballpark this. I would say 16 to 35 would probably be the target audience that we'd be looking at here. Could be a little bit more than that, but like I said, it's aimed at a fairly specific age range. It's also aimed at a lot of people who follow the more afterlife side of things that go on in New Orleans and the little strange and unusual, the unexplained. And so it kind of goes into a little bit of that too. And there's definitely some things that touch on that a lot of people can relate with if they're from that area or if they're into that type of thing. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but stay tuned to what we're going to be talking about next, and you're just going to have to wait and see. Surprise! Until then, bye-bye.